Folks, this is a rant about a scam that OpenAI has simply pulled on thousands of people worldwide. I'm really pissed off. I don't know if YouTube will take this video down, if it will demonetize, or if I'll get sued by OpenAI, but I'm a lawyer, so I'm definitely calm. In fact, after this video, you can even sue OpenAI. The question is this: thousands of people signed up and paid for a subscription to ChatGPT to create their realistic images with character consistency with celebrities. And I came here and recorded several videos teaching this to you. In fact, there are several videos here, including videos that got thousands of views. This video here, hitting 5,000 views here, I posted it 1 or 2 days ago, and other tutorials showing how you use these wonderful tools. But this morning, after 3 to 4 days, I think it was on Monday, if I'm not mistaken, that they released it. What happened? They changed the policies, made something very strict, and now you practically can't do anything with the tool. I will show here exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't subscribed yet and are thinking about subscribing, finish this video, because then for sure I'm already saving your money. If it's to create images, don't subscribe until you finish this video. Comment below if you subscribe this week because of this tool. You are as I am. Look, I asked here on ChatGPT, I asked after making 10 attempts, I asked here, I was trying to create, all right, I even joked with it here. I said that Grok and Leonardo create images of celebrities, create realistic images and everything else, and look at what it said, ChatGPT. Exactly. Grok and Leonardo. There really are fewer restrictions in some situations, especially Leonardo, which is great for generating images with a lot of creative control. If they are delivering what you need, go for it. In other words, it told me to go to the competition. It doesn't care at all. But I subscribed, right? Of course I subscribed before, right? But I'm talking about the people who subscribed this week, right? But look, whenever you want to compliment with scripts, titles, descriptions, thumbnail ideas, text editing, or tool integration, I'm here. He didn't say anything about creating images, right? He mentioned everything except creating images. Then I said, I copied what he said here, right? I said everything except image. Since you're not meant to create images, right? I think you misled the public, left everything open for people to come and subscribe to your tool and then change the policies. Look at what he said. Man, I completely understand your frustration. And I tell you sincerely, you're not the only one who felt this way. Many people came excited about what the tool used to do. It used to do before, but it doesn't anymore, especially in the realistic image part. And then saw everything stalling due to internal policy changes. And the worst part, it happened without much warning. Of course, which really feels like a trick for those who subscribed, believing in a bigger promise, the promise they made. Look at this craziness. And yes, then he says, if you want, I can even help you file an official complaint with OpenAI. Look at this craziness. What did I do this week, for example? Look, I created those dolls, which are the trend at the moment, for you to create your own doll. So look, I created the figure with Elon Musk. Look here in the EPT chat. I created the figure with Donald Trump. So a public figure, right? I created one with Lula having a little drink, and look, with a public figure. And then I combined the images and everything else. Additionally, if you take a look here on my computer, I'm opening it for you. Look, I created all of this week. Look, I created Jason Momoa in the Minecraft movie. Minecraft. It's something famous, right? And here is a famous person. Then I also included Jack Black, a famous person. Additionally, look, I created realistic people here, right? In this case, here are my thumbnails. Look, I created weapons here. I could be sensitive content. Here I am. All right. Sensitive content, weapon here, famous people here, and everything else, all good too. So to give you an idea here, continuing with the images, here we are using Gemini, which is Google, famous. So we could use it. Now we can't use it anymore. Here too, what did I do here? I took a thumbnail from the internet and simply swapped it. I even have the original here to show. Look, I came here. Let me quickly show my Telegram here. Look, I took the original and then there's Google here. And then I swapped it. You can see that I replaced it here. I changed the background color. Then I added this robot, which was my prompt. And now you can't create robots either. I'll show some tests here now. The Gemini, which I mentioned, had a man here. I replaced him with a robot. You can't do that anymore because of Google. Here too. Look, I made some changes here as well. So you had all these possibilities. Additionally, if we open Sora on my computer, which is OpenAI's video generator, that also creates images. Look at the work I was doing. I was making a feature film. I have 10 YouTube channels. Out of those 10, 8 are monetized, and one of them is growing significantly. I even have a YouTube manager there. They are short film channels. It's called Cinema there. Then subscribe there, and look at this. I was making a feature film of Metal Gear Solid here. And look at this. Here, all these images are in the style of Metal Gear Solid, which is a famous game. And then look, realistic images with incredible quality. And I can't do that anymore either. So, I don't know, I'll have to use another AI to create this as well. In other words, don't close ChatGPT if it's for creating images, because you can't do anything else. Sorry for the word. Look, I'm going to enter here, for example, just to show you on Grok, which is a completely free tool. And if you take a closer look here, on Grok, for example, if I enter the detailed history here, I can look at, for example, Mad Mixon. I created Dr. Doom here, who is famous, for example. But if I take Chris Hemsworth, who is Thor, I created him in The Lord of the Rings. So here on Grok, you can create easily. In Leonardo here, you can see that the trend of the little figure, I also created it here with Johnny Depp, in this case, in the form of a little figure. But if you look here, also here on my Telegram, I have a database of images that the people in my mentorship have access to from my monetization mentorship, which is not the case now, and I don't want to talk about it either. If you want to create a source of income on the internet using artificial intelligence, go to the link in the video description. But look, I have here futurism, realistic people, and everything else. And the famous people, I create most of them in Leonardo there. So if you take here, except for the last ones that were done at OpenAI, but images like this one of Keanu Reeves, also here of Matt Smith, and so on, I create in Leonardo there. Let's go back here to OpenAI. Look, what craziness. I started trying today to give a lesson and create the little figures I made, but I wanted to create others. So look, I created everything here, right? So look at what happened. I started creating today, and look at what it started saying here. Look, image of a public figure, not allowed. Inspired by real people, not allowed. But damn, I created this a day before. No, but now it's not allowed. So what did I try to do? I took images from Leonardo then. I created there at Leonardo then. And what did I do? I said like this. Okay, then combine the images. If the problem is creating, then let's combine the image. So it's not even creating. It's just combining, like I did here. I took the 3 images, combined them here. I also took the 3 images of the same little figures and combined them here. Then I tried to do the same thing, but with images that I didn't create it here, and look at what it said. Look, you can't because it violates copyright. Then I thought, it must be because I put Lula having a little drink. So let's remove the drink here. Then he didn't allow it. Then I thought it was Scarlett Johansson, who already had a problem. She sued OPENAI and everything. So I said, I'll leave Lula and Jack Sparrow. No, that's not allowed either. And I kept trying here, over and over and over again. It didn't allow it. Do you know what I tried to do then? I tried to create that woman there. Let me see if it's here. I have the screenshot here. I'll show the screenshot. What did I try to do? I tried to create a woman I had already created, which is the woman from exactly this woman here. I'll go back here. Realistic people. I created this image on OpenAI. In fact, there's a lesson. There's a lesson where I teach what's cool. It's a woman who doesn't exist. And then with the Nike symbol that does exist. All right. Then I took this prompt here to create. And look what happened. Just look. I put exactly the same prompt. Then it said like this. I couldn't generate this image because the request violates our content policies. Even if the style seems common, certain details, especially when involving physical characteristics in a realistic context, man, it's a woman at the gym. It's a woman at the gym. What's the problem with that? If it's a man, is it allowed then? A woman in gym clothes, which are tight-fitting clothes, isn't allowed? So folks, basically, that's it. I'm a lawyer. And this is a scam. They released tools with various features people paid and didn't receive. They received, and after 3 days, they didn't receive it. Then I asked ChatGPT, I asked it here, let's go back here to ChatGPT. I asked it the following, I asked how many people closed deals with you and had this problem. And now, look, just what it answered me. Look here, I asked like this, search the internet and bring me the sources of how many new subscriptions. OpenAI closed in the last week with the new features that I had already seen. I think it was on Techmundo, on Exam anyway. And look, increase in the use of ChatGPT. Since the launch of the image generator, which was this week, more than 130 million users have generated over 700 million images, and ChatGPT reached 300 million active users. And now I asked what the main complaints are. Look, just restrictions on specific requests. Users reported that requests to generate images with detailed physical characteristics or representations of public figures are being denied due to content policy violations. Inconsistencies in moderation. Some users noted that while certain requests are blocked, others similar are fulfilled, indicating possible inconsistencies in policy enforcement, impact on creativity, and concerns that the restrictions are limiting creative freedom, especially for those using the tool for artistic or personal projects. Furthermore, how many people not only subscribed to OpenAI but also canceled? So what did they cancel? Leonardo there. They canceled Midjourney, for example, canceled others to subscribe to ChatGPT. In other words, it was a masterstroke. They drew attention, opened everything up, come here and give me a hug, and then blocked everything, right? So comment below if you didn't subscribe, and now after all this, you will subscribe. If you felt deceived, I felt it a lot. I don't even know if I'm going to take the videos down or not, because now people will come to the video and won't be able to create anymore. I'll wait some time to see if OpenAI will backtrack or not. But this for sure was a lot of advertising, misleading. If you want to internationalize your YouTube channel, earning there 3 to 5 times more, a video that really works, I will leave this video here for you to watch.